What's up, everybody? I'm Izzy.
And I'm Fitty.
This is How We Talk
Podcast.
That's right, baby. Back again with another episode. What's up?
Everything's good, man.
That's all I had. If you guys reckon...
It threw you off, though, I think, because you always, you count me in, and I always come in, and then you're like, oh, shit, wait, I'm always the one that says podcast.
Switched it up.
That's right. And then remember, you're like, I hated that intro for the longest. Anyway, if you guys recognize these two gentlemen, it's because we've had them on before. Kirk and Ruben. Ruben, what was that nickname again?
Pocho.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bass in the Hood and Urban Angler Club. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Welcome back, guys. Welcome
We
back.
forgot Mr. Kirk.
I said Kirk.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Captain Kirk.
Hey, come to the show, man.
I'm late to every party.
Pay
dude.
attention.
Fashionably late.
I'm always fashionably
That was
late.
good. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
thank you.
Nice
for
to
having
be
us.
back. Appreciate the time.
Yeah,
course.
definitely,
Anytime.
definitely.
You guys are always open. It's nice, man, to be
Yeah.
here.
No, hey, we had
It's
a great talk the last time we were here, and we were promoting the tournament,
Yeah.
which you guys are in the middle of.
Yeah.
So I figured, why not come back on and then
Follow up.
follow up and see how you guys are doing.
You know what I liked about? I didn't share this with you guys when we were talking about it, but it really brought me back because I used to go fishing with my grandpa a lot, and he's since passed, but it brought up all these memories of fishing as a kid on the dock. We would go up to Azusa Canyon and fish off the beach, and it just brought back all these memories of fishing. Yeah, it was really cool.
And that's what it's all about. We want to help create more of those memories.
Yeah, definitely.
For the parents, for the kids, for family members to all get together and go out and enjoy it. Just because you live in the middle of the city doesn't mean you can't get out and enjoy some of the outdoor space that we have here. Whether it's going down to the beach or fishing one of our local bays, Newport, Huntington Beach, not that far away from LA. So you can get out there and have a good time, and not to mention all the local lakes we have. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets you out there, and then a lot of the local leagues have like derbies.
What do you mean derbies?
Like a fishing derby.
Oh, okay. So like little contest kind of thing.
You like little tournaments, and they're mostly child oriented. So it's like parent and child and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's what we want, to have out there. We talked about it before. Kids nowadays just want to be on their phones.
Right. Right.
This is not only for adults to get away from after work and whatnot, but also to bring their child along. It helps not only to create better bonds, but that one little thing that we're missing, because everything's now so digital. You're losing that connection between father and child and so forth, and creating memories, and not only creating memories, but like traditions.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of kids go out there and fish a specific holiday, with their father or their grandfather or stuff like that. That's what we're trying to bring back again.
Yeah, and some of the organizations that are already in place that are running these derbies, we're going to be teaming up with some of them in the near future too to do stuff together.
We're linking up. Our network is growing.
That's good.
That's good, man.
It's growing very well, and it's going strong. We're linking up first with the people that are, how would you say, there are our common foes. Just the regular guys. Regular fellas. That's who we want to link up first. That's who we want to create a foundation, because those guys are the ones that are out there looking for that one opportunity, whether it's to promote something, talk about something, have something going on their behalf, but they're really into it. It takes a while before you get a big company to even acknowledge you. So we want to create our foundation first from the people that we're around. That we go fish every so often. Or your fishing buddies, kind of, you want to say. Those are the guys that you want to, that's the guys that we want to link up first, and then from there grow as, making that great foundation first.
But it's not to say that you would turn away a big company.
No, I mean, we're open to anything, but these guys are, they've been there since the get-go. They've been helping us out, so we gotta we want to give them credit, for taking the time and considering our what we're bringing to the table.
Right.
Yeah, we would love a big company to come in and help us
of
out a
course.
little bit. But our grassroots, the way we started was with the local anglers.
Yeah.
And we want to keep it somewhat that way, because how we first, like, Bass in the Hood kind of morphed. It started off with just a blog talking about the local lakes, whether it's Echo Park or MacArthur Park, two great downtown lakes, whether it's an East LA lake like Lincoln or Hollenbeck.
Yeah.
You know, so or like Almonte, a local lake here, you know, it's Leg Lake. We have Santa Fe Dam. So there's a lot of local places within the city that people can fish. And Bass in the Hood started out with just a blog. And then kind of morphed into me making baits for the local fishermen, geared towards the urban fishing. And now that's morphed into the Urban Angler Club, where we're teaming up with a lot of local anglers and putting on these little tournaments so that we can get together, share techniques, and learn from each other. You know, so a lot of guys come and tell me, well, I'm not good enough yet to join the tournament. So when I get better, I want to join you guys. And that's what it's not about that. You know, you come out here and then you learn from the more experienced guys. Yeah. And everybody learns and shares their techniques. Yeah. And that's what it's about. And a lot of these guys come and they join the tournaments. We have little raffles. These guys bring gifts or donations for the raffles themselves, along with some of the local sponsors we have. So it's moving along really good. Yeah. And we want to morph the Urban Angler Club into something bigger, where we're helping out the community, maybe working at these local derbies like Ruben mentioned, helping out, maybe taking some of the older kids in these derbies and teach them how to fish with artificial baits, how to bass fish. So, you know, so that
most of the times they're fishing with, you know, live bait, worms and whatnot. So that's not saying that it's wrong. I mean, that's basic fishing. That's how I started.
That's cute,
you know. But yeah, and then you get more into the, you know, I guess you could say the challenging part is making something that's artificial look like it's live bait and making the fish bite.
As in how you're
finessing it, right. The technique,
the flick of the wrist.
Yeah,
you can't throw it out there and let it sit. The bass or any fish for that matter will not bite that. You have to trick the fish into thinking it's something alive that they want to eat. So that's the whole.
You gotta entice them.
That's
to bite.
funny because I never knew that growing up. It was just cast and wait. That's how, you know, I did it. But
there's still techniques like that where you just set up the hook and you cast it out there and you're just waiting for the tip to move and you're we're on, you know. But that's, you know, that's more on the advanced techniques. As you progress into, you know, doing artificial baits, that's where it gets interesting. That's where you start learning techniques, certain styles of techniques work certain ways, and then in certain waters. That's where we want to come in and actually promote that to those little kids that are moving from, you know, I'm already 10, 11 years old. I want something more challenging. We bring in there. That's what we want to be part of. Yeah. Not saying that we're not going to teach someone that's 5 years old. If some kid that's 5 years old wants to learn how to fish and he's really into fishing and he starts learning how to, you know, do artificial baits, why not? You're not going to cut them short, you know?
One of the things we're trying to emphasize also is that it's not just about fishing. It's not just about catching fish, but it's about enjoying the outdoors. Yeah. So these parks we have with these lakes, they have their own little ecosystems, and they're very vulnerable. So we want to teach people how to protect those ecosystems we have there at the lake, so they could come out and enjoy the outdoors. You know, they can see all the ducks, the squirrels, the turtles, the fish that live in the water, and all the life around those parks that you may not see in the downtown streets.
Not take it for granted,
or in the neighborhoods. So it's a little more than the fishing. It's all about getting outside and enjoying the outdoors. And that's where our passion comes in at, and that's what we're trying to teach. So we're going to teach somebody how to tie a proper knot, but it's not just that. It's enjoying the outdoors. Like, for example, everybody enjoys going out to the park sometimes and feeding the ducks, but they don't know that feeding the ducks stale bread or bread in general is bad for them. It's actually bad for the ducks, it's bad for the environment, and it pollutes the water. But a lot of people don't know that. I think if they knew that, they wouldn't do that. There's special feed you can buy to feed the ducks with,
little
and stuff
seeds
like
and
that.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, but
what's the why, as into why not feed it bread? What's bad about it?
Well, the processed breads will actually give the ducks like a diarrhea. and then they will in that case pollute the water, the lakes, the land around the water, which shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
And then they become dependent on the kind of food we feed them that's not good for them, instead of feeding on natural things in the water that they should be feeding on. You know, whether it's algae or the grass or smaller fish that they could catch. They don't do that anymore, and then they rely on the people coming to the park to feed them. So the ecosystem starts changing. Now you don't have those ducks eating the smaller fish. Like they
you start shifting their way of living.
Yeah, or you got other aquatic creatures to help keep the grasses down and stuff like that. So they all work in tandem, and once you change that, just one thing, it starts to ruin the ecosystem. So that's why when you go around to a lot of public parks, you see signs that say don't feed the ducks.
Right. Yeah.
They're not trying to be mean. It's just the right thing to do. You're doing a disservice by doing that. And that's just one of the things, And the other one is just trying to keep the parks clean.
Right.
If you go to one of our local parks, especially something that has a nice lake or something, and you go there the day after a holiday, there is so much trash floating in the water along the banks that people just walk away and leave there. So these are the kind of things we want to teach, and how maybe even as a group go out to the lakes and do like a cleanup day or something like that.
Be responsible about it,
Yeah. So those are the kind of things we're looking for, and how we could better serve the community, and it's not just about fishing. So that's what we want to get out there. Fishing's kind of like our vehicle, to show and teach everybody.
It's like you're saying, it's not just about it is let's talk the fishing part of it, right? Why aren't most people fishing? I think a lot of people get discouraged when they don't catch anything, and they go, why am I going to come out fishing? But why don't you guys talk about how it's not so much the catch, it's the adventure of it,
Well, it's just getting out there in the sun, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people work inside in offices and whatnot. I work inside a warehouse. So when I get a chance to go fishing an hour after work, I take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
Whether I catch something or not, I gone to lakes and I catch nothing, and I go home and I'm like, damn, but then I think about it. What did I do wrong? What did I not, what colors did I not use and stuff like that? But at the end of the day, I was like, well, I got out, there's people out there that cannot walk and they can't go out and fish, They might have a chance to go on a wheelchair, but there's people that are on beds that cannot go out and fish. So just to be thankful that you're able to go out there and enjoy a little bit of fun of the sun and have a little bit of time just being out there. I think that should just be your number one. You should be grateful about that.
Fishing is an excuse to get out and enjoy the outdoors and share that experience with family and friends, and that's what a lot of it's about. It's not so much about catching fish. Everybody likes to go out, and when you fish, you want to catch something, of course,
right?
But you can't make that the big theme, because then you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to catch fish every time you go out there. The pros don't catch fish every time they go out. So sometimes when you go out there, you're going to get the big skunk. So that's just the way it is. That's part
not literally,
of
right?
Fishing.
Like figuratively skunk? Right?
Yeah, figuratively.
Okay.
Well,
you don't
it could be both. Some of our local lakes,
in certain lakes,
So
you got to be careful.
Get that nasty spray on you.
Especially if
It's not a cat. It's not a cat.
If you're out there after the sun goes down, you will see some skunks.
Yeah.
And some raccoons as well. Be careful; those things can get mean in a second.
Now you gotta fight for your dinner.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just to be grateful, man. Just to have an opportunity to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else can you ask for?
Well, going back to the derbies, you guys are saying that they're starting to bring out more derbies so that your parent and a child can come out and fish. Is there a new approach to that, or is it just come out and fish like old school tradition fishing, or are they implementing new ways of convincing your kid to come out and fish with you?
Well, the derbies have been around for a very long time,
right?
And I remember them when I was a kid at Lake. They would have fishing derbies. A lot of the local lakes will have derbies, including some of what they call the pay lakes, where you have to pay an extra fee to fish them, because these lakes provide you with additional fish to catch. So you have a better chance of catching them. So you have to pay a little bit higher fee to get in. But these places will have derbies as well. And the nice thing about that is that kids, if you're under 16 years of age, you don't have to have a California fishing license.
Okay.
So
and also those derbies, they provide like raffles and stuff like that for the kids. They have a very unique way of, I guess you could say, judging fish. So they'll go like the biggest ones, but they will also go for the smallest ones. So you could get something for a big one, but you might get the, for the small one too. Yeah. Or you might get a unique fish. So all the fish look the same, but that one fish that you caught might be unique. And you might get the unique fish.
Some of what they'll do when they have a derby, they'll tag some of the trout.
Oh, okay.
So when they're having a trout derby, if you catch a tag fish, that tag could be worth a certain amount of money.
Oh, okay.
So certain sponsors that get involved in there, and they might tag 3 fish worth, $100.
Yeah.
Or they'll have 10 fish worth $25. If you catch a fish with one of those tags,
and it's all registered, so
you win that prize. So
you bring in that fish, it's probably a pound, and you go in there and it's worth $150.
Yeah.
And you're just like. Or it's worth a rod that's worth $100.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they do a lot of techniques to get it. People go out there. There's lakes that are accessible. There's other lakes that are private. But they all have their ways of bringing in, promoting flyers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's different kinds of trout plants too.
Yeah.
You have the county will plant the lake sometimes. Sometimes it'll be like the Department of Fish and Game. So you have the county plants, you have state plants.
Yeah.
And
so some of those weeks are very stacked where you have a lot of fish in the water, and those are the derby weeks. That's where they plan the derby weeks, especially for the kids.
Yeah. And a lot of times for the trout, they'll run those in the wintertime when the water's cooler. So when the water's cooler, they'll stock trout in it. And then during the summertime when the waters heat up, they'll stock catfish and kind of do the same thing, but with the catfish.
Yeah. So for anyone that's interested in doing something like a derby, what's the easiest way for me to find it?
To the parks, directly to the parks.
Just go directly to the park.
LA parks, California LA parks should have a link of all their derbies. San Bernardino as well. They have a San Bernardino County recreational park page on Instagram and on Facebook. They all have their links of the derby. Mm-hmm. Specifically a specific park as well too, like Prado, Guatsi, Glen Helen. Those are the parks that have their own page on Instagram. You could go directly to Glen Helen and it'll show you recreational park lake, and then it'll start seeing all the pictures where they have all the links of the flyers and stuff like that. For right here, Lake, which is pretty much I guess the second biggest lake from out of LA. Mm-hmm. Right. They the Dan Hernandez is the one that does that derbies and stuff like that for them. And then they have a fishing youth camp the third weekend, I believe, of every month. So those are the ways to get connected with those derbies and those youth camp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which we in the future, as linking up to those companies or to those associations that are doing that, hopefully in the future we also have something like that for us.
Yeah, we have plans in the works right now to work with the Dan Hernandez Foundation. Mm-hmm. So we just have to go through the process of the life scans and getting fingerprinting and everything like that. And the Bassin Hood crew and the Urban Anglers Club, that's what we're doing. Matter of fact, some of our guys already had it done. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. They had a special thing at Lake. And they're providing free fingerprinting because to work with the kids, they have to do the background checks and everything, make sure you're all good.
And that's what we want to host as well for us as an urban angling club. We want to host something like that for the kids, where we're doing like a fishing clinic, I guess you could call it, or camp. Yeah. So that not only are we providing the knowledge for the adults, but we're also providing the knowledge for the children.
Yeah.
Which, to talk about children, we do have a lot of our sponsors interested in promoting some type of a sponsorship for a child for one of our tournaments, which is awesome. That alone, it's mind-blowing,
Yeah. And that's the one that you have that you're wearing right now.
Yeah, Stay Bent.
Stay Bent.
Stay Bent.
And you also gave me a shirt.
It's
over here. It's a really cool shirt. I like this thing.
Yeah.
It's like the Loteria.
Yeah.
Right?
La Chalupa.
Now State Bent's a group of anglers headed by John Sanchez and his crew, and what they've done is that they
Is that him?
that might be his dad.
I think that's his pops.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but they're a great group, and what they do is put together like I guess you can call it fishing swag. So they have some really nice hats, like the kind
what the
Ruben
cool
have on.
kids wear, you know.
And they have different shirts, not just the one you showed, but they have different prints on them, and they kind of started kind of like the same way Bass in the Hood did. You know, a couple guys fishing together. They're talking about a new fishing shirt that came out. And they just decided, hey, why don't we just do our own?
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of like their philosophy is very similar to Bass in the Hood, to the Urban Angler Club.
It links up very well.
Yeah, it's all about serving the communities, teaching people how to fish, and just getting them out there to enjoy the outdoors. You know, whether if they're just going to be walking around, hiking, or bird watching, but get out there, have some fun, and that these lakes are there for you, close by. You know, you don't have to take a big trip to go up in the mountains. You got these little aces, like I like to call them, right in the city.
Yeah.
You know, usually in walking distance from where you work or where you live. So.
And is this an apparel company?
Yeah,
strictly apparel company.
Yes,
okay.
yes. They do strictly fishing apparel.
Yeah.
So it's a great company. We're actually working together on June 16th at Punning Stone. We're having another tournament there, which, matter of fact, all the tournaments from the Urban Angler Club have been approved by the Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Okay.
So
that's what I was going to ask next. Was the last time you guys were on, you were talking about starting this. Was it a month-long tournament?
No, it was like 3 months.
The tour of the lakes.
Well, the tournaments we're doing right now is a 7-tournament series. The tournament we're having coming up on the 19th would be number 4 in a series of 7.
Right.
So
that's the ones we talked on the last show, right?
Right.
So you're 4 in.
Yeah, we're 4
okay.
in,
Cool.
and the one at Punning Stone is going to be number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And at the end of this, you earn points in every tournament we have. You earn points just for showing up. You earn points for catching fish. You earn points for big fish, for first, second, or third. At the end, at Santa Fe Downs is going to be our last tournament in Irwindale. And whoever has the most points at the end, they're going to be named Urban Angler of the Year.
Nice.
And we're going to have some special prizes and awards for that person.
We already started making a list for Angler of the Year gift package.
Yeah.
Some of our sponsors are already starting to drop some of their stuff for us.
Nice.
Bowhound is one of them. Bowhound Sporting is good. It's on Instagram. They already send us a backpack, and it's a tackle backpack. So
nice.
That's already a start from us just being able to provide for the raffles.
Yeah.
We're already starting to get from our own sponsors for the Angler of the Year. So people are already getting interested, and we're not even halfway through the season.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
it's really nice, man.
And that's what we actually have 2 raffles at every tournament. One's for someone who pays for the tournament, who prepays before a certain date. They automatically get put into the raffle. And these raffles are usually worth anywhere from $100 to $200. And then we have a separate optional $5 raffle. And that raffle is usually worth anywhere from $100 to $200. So a lot of people that join our tournaments will pay the extra $5 to get in that raffle.
Yeah.
And we have 2 winners every tournament for those. And then we'll even draw out some additional names for consolation prizes, and those are usually worth more than $5 because we have guys who have donated some of their art, their work of art that they can fish with, so they've like custom made or custom hand painted crankbaits that can be used to catch fish.
Yeah.
So those guys have the
custom made, man. I mean, that's one specific
Yeah.
thing that those guys, when they do art, I mean, there's stuff out there that you could go and buy at Turner's, Walmart, so forth, right?
Yeah.
But when you say custom, all the stuff that you see on the stores, you're talking about 100 people throwing them. But you go out there and you're throwing something that's custom made, a specific color. Not everyone has that one color. the fish already seen all the other colors.
Yeah.
So when you throw that one color, that gives you that extra edge on catching a fish.
And some
It
of
doesn't
these,
it doesn't guarantee it, but it just gives you the extra edge because that specific color or that extra or that unique color might be what the fish are wanting to buy at that moment.
Yeah.
So that extra edge by a custom made lure, I mean,
and some of these are real nice. Sometimes you're like, wow, I don't even want to fish with that. You just want to hang them on your wall.
Yeah. One guy, we gave it to him. He's like, so does this go in the vitrina or what? You know, like, and then we're like, no, dude, that's for fishing. You know, throw it. He's like, I don't want to throw this. This is too nice.
Too scared you're gonna lose them. So.
And when that one of those guys is he's war paints, man. He's really he's always been since the get-go. He's been really good, man.
Yeah.
And that guy's in the Riverside area, so we're hoping he joins us at the Lake Paris event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's he's done very good work of his his skills. So
Yeah, we have another guy from Boondock Baits. He makes jigs for fishing.
Yeah, we talked about those guys last episode.
Yeah, he came
That's a
out
cool
to
name.
our Castaic event. You know, so the guys really like the work he does.
Yeah.
and we're linking all the way down to San Diego. We got a guy from San Diego,
Oh, wow.
Ben Rod Brigade. The guy, I personally bought some stuff from him. I bought a couple of shirts and a hat, and it just sparked me. I asked him, and he's like, "I'm in. What do you want me to do?"
Nice.
And I'm like, "Well, I'm not asking you for anything. It just depends if you want to join the the movement."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm in. To count me in."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is all the way to San Diego, Oceanside, San Diego. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So I mean, we're linking all the way down to that area. We're not limited to area. We talked about this. We
Right.
talked about last time
Yeah.
about is it only going to be in LA or is it only going to be in certain areas? No, we're trying to link it to everyone. There's people out there that already probably have some type of similar ideas as we do. We want to link up. We want to talk to those people, see what they have in mind. What could they provide to the table? We provide the same as back. It's a big network. I mean, and we're trying to do it the right way. We're not trying to do it where you're interested because of the money wise or because of the stuff.
Right.
It's because of the knowledge that we could provide to each other.
Yeah.
Like her says, it's not about the fishing. It's not about winning. It's not about that. I mean, of course, it's a competition, but just to get out there and learn, man.
Right.
There's people that have good fisheries around where they live, and we're not aware of. It would be nice, just to get a nice outing out there. Have a nice, you go out here, you catch one fish. You go out there, you catch 5. Who wouldn't want something like that?
And though our tournaments are designed for bass, we don't exclude any particular species. So like one of our sponsors is Trout Candy Baits.
Yeah.
He makes baits specifically for trout, smaller fish, maybe like for trout and crappie. The smaller bass will also bite the larger bass as well. Will bite those baits as well.
Yeah.
So we're looking for anybody really that's interested in the urban fishing, the city fishing, like we like to do. If you make your own baits, we would like to see them. So I actually have a couple of new sponsors coming on. Might mess up this name, but I think they're called Funk Busters Spinner Baits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they hand make their own spinner baits and chatter baits. And
Talk about that.
Do they actually spin?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
spin
Oh
or
yeah,
buzz
yeah. I
baits or
wish I
something like
should
that.
have brought a sample
Yeah,
to show you. So
Funny thing is that every time we will have an event, we will mention it to the guys. If you guys know someone, if you think you know someone or whatsoever, just go ahead, message them, or take it upon yourself to ask them. Joe Negrete, he did it, and we, we were surprised. Me and Kirk, we were like, what?
this is one of our members that comes out and fishes with us.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I might know somebody that's interested. And he contacted them on his own and got them involved. And they're not only they're providing us with discount codes, for their product,
Cool.
but they're also going to provide us with some of their products so that we can use it in our raffles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that we're that it's coming a long ways, and it's going. I guess we're doing something right because some of our members are actually taking the initiative to do it. Yeah. When it was all of us, trying to get it done and going. Now we're seeing that some of our members are actually going out there and punching the bag as well. You know,
it's like a communal thing, right? Everybody's pitching in. Everybody's doing their part.
At the end of the day, whatever they bring into the table, it goes out back to them. Right. We don't keep anything to ourselves. It's we, as much as we put into the raffle packages and stuff like that, it literally everything goes back out there. Yeah. You know, we spend some of our own money to get some stuff because we're like at the store like, oh, that looks nice.
A lot of our own money.
Yeah. That's how things grow, you know. Like you mentioned, you started off just as a blog.
Yes.
You know, and then look at where you're at now. Yeah. That's sort of how we're doing it. We just started out word of mouth, friends. You post it out there. Hey, can you share this for us? And you grow. That's how it, you know?
Started off with like nothing. As the blogs grow, people start reading the blogs. They like the information I provided, and then you know, a couple people find out, oh, you make baits too, and the next thing you know, people want those baits.
Yeah.
So
you know what we talked about last time, Kirk, and I was meaning to ask you, but making like short videos on, you know, little training videos or anything. Or?
I'm actually working on some right now. I got several clips I've been working on putting together. My son's actually helping me edit these because I'm not very good at that. So I want to. I do have a YouTube channel out there, but to be honest with you, it's not very good.
Not the best right now.
Yeah, so that's something that we're working on right now. Yeah. So I have some really nice clips of some top water strikes, some catches, and some misses. And I'm going to demonstrate how to work that top water bait, you know, give some instruction on that. The reason why I chose the top water, because it's so exciting, because you actually see the fish strike the bait. It's not like when you're fishing with a worm, it's under the water. That's a lot harder to capture the bait striking it. Yeah. You know, but on top, you can actually see the fish blow up on it. And sometimes
catch air.
Even when they don't hook up, it's just exciting to see that fish come out the water and just explode on your bait. Sometimes it's a big explosion. Sometimes they just come up from underneath it and just suck your bait under. It's almost like fishing with a bobber. Yeah. You know, you're moving the bait along, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's just gone. Yeah. You know, so you just set the hook and reel them in, hopefully. So, but even the ones that miss, it's just real exciting to see that fish explode on your bait, even if it doesn't hook up. So those are things that we're working on that I'm hoping I can get something released soon that's better than I've done in the past as far as videos go.
You know, to piggyback on what Israel was asking about the videos, I think even a tutorial video of how to make a knot, you know, how to like those kind of it, like that's for me, dude. Like for someone that I want to get into fishing, but I don't want to kind of go. I want to know what I'm doing too. I don't want to. It's you know, it's kind of a little empowering, or when you're like, hey, how do you tie this knot, you know, or how do I unhook the fish, or how do I, you know, like those kind of videos.
It's something that I've been asked about a lot, you know, over the years, and I keep saying I'm going to put something together. There's some very good videos. Ruben too. Ruben could put something together. There's some very good videos out there. Yeah. And I was thinking about sorting through them and picking out the best ones I like and kind of repost them as Bass in the Hood approved videos.
Oh, there you go.
Like, this is the knot I like to use. Right. I don't know if I can do a better job than these guys have done demonstrating how to do this. Yeah. So I want to showcase.
Well, you should showcase what works for you, because obviously it's been working for a while.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then everybody else has their own way of doing things.
Yeah, and then people like to see that raw. You know, they want to see Kirk doing it. They want to see you know, stab yourself in your finger and you go, fuck, man. They want to see.
But we've done that a few times.
That's what they want to see, though, because that's what's going to happen to me. I don't want to see a perfect knot. I want to see this guy go, shit, and then still, you know, still go through it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
I might have a couple of shots with a hook in my finger past the barb that I couldn't pull out. So I've had to go to the emergency room more than once. So I will admit that, where I just couldn't get the hook out because it went past the barb. Yeah. And I even had a buddy try to wrap line around it and jerk it out. And though it hurt a lot, it didn't come out. So, so I had to go to the emergency room on 2 occasions to have hooks removed. And sometimes, you know, it was the fish, you know, slammed the hook into my hand as revenge. And another time it was just me doing something stupid while the boat was moving, and then I ended up stabbing myself with the hook. So
you know how I mentioned that the last show brought up a lot of stories. That was one of them. We went fishing off a pier, and my cousin cast it out, and the hook caught him right at the end. And he cast it, and he caught a big one.
I cringed just listening to the story.
That's even worse because when you're saltwater fishing, the hooks get bigger, so the equipment gets bigger. I've seen guys get hurt like on boats going out fishing in the ocean. Where guys aren't paying attention, they rear back to make a cast, and they end up hooking their buddy or somebody of their own ear. I mean, I've seen the videos where the guys are piercing their ears all the time and getting hooks stuck in them. So you do have to be careful, and that's one of the things also we would like to teach the kids.
Of course,
how to fish safely. Because you're dealing with a lot of sharp items when you're out there fishing. You don't want somebody to poke an eye out or something. You want it to be fun. So
talk about safety. For Castaic, the day that we were fishing Castaic last month, it got really windy at the end, and we had one of our buddies get blown away. He was on a float tube. We stood, as in a couple of us, we stood there waiting until he was able to come back out, because he would paddle out and then get blown away, paddle out, get blown away.
Oh, he wasn't able to come back.
Yeah, we had to wait down the lifeguard, and the lifeguard came over, grabbed him with the boat, and started taking him out.
Dang.
Yeah, but we always talk about that when we're out there before everyone taking out. Be safe, guys. Be vigilant.
Sure.
We want all of you guys to come back in. We all want you guys to go out there and fish. We don't want by a simple accident now we can't perform these tournaments anymore. So we're always out there, telling those guys, be vigilant. I mean, if you see something going on wrong, don't be afraid to go and approach the person and say, hey, what's going on? You okay?
Right.
You're out there in the middle of the sun. Someone might be getting a stroke, man, and you just paddle by him, and he's kind of stroking out. You want to at least get him out to the shores, have some help, or wave down the lifeguard, or on the boat or whatever. But we always tell them it's safety first, man. Above all, anything else, competition and whatnot, safety first. Just how we want you to come back in, we want everyone else to come back in. And we always talk about that because, like Kirk said, simple. You cast the wrong way, you set yourself up, your day might be over. Yeah, simple. Just one second.
One of the requirements we have during the tournaments, anybody fishing on inside of a watercraft, be it a float tube or a kayak, or maybe you're on a paddleboard, or you have one of the small boats with electric motors, you have to wear a life vest. That's part of the rules in the tournaments. So I know that they can be uncomfortable. There are some better than others. But you have to wear one. That's part of the rules. I just don't want to take that risk. I mean, chances somebody fishing in one of my events that I'm putting on and don't come back. Yeah. So that's the bottom line, and
especially because some of these guys are your buddies, man.
Yeah.
Some of these guys you tend to you learn to convivir. You learn to be around them. You're always spending time with them. You see them the next tournaments. You're talking in between tournaments. You're linking up to go fish in between tournaments. So they become your buddies. They become your friends. And those are the guys that you want to keep around. Those are the guys that you want to actually have around you, because at a split second, they might be the ones saving you, or you might be saving them. So that safety is always a priority in every event that we have. Before and after and during. I mean, there's people that still go out there after. I hit them up, and I get home and I hit them up. Hey, did you make it home safe? Yeah, man, I was out there for 2 hours. I caught 3 more. Too bad it wasn't inside the tournament, but I got 3 more. And I'm like, but did you make it home safe? Yeah, we're home safe now.
That's cool.
Yeah, one of the things we try to do, we have everybody sign in the tournament. Then I try to get everybody to sign out as well to get back to make sure we have everybody. I don't want to leave somebody out on the lake And if somebody like wants to spend some extra time, maybe they don't want to come back in, I want them to give us a call, text somebody, let us know that you're still out there, that you're okay.
Yeah.
Because we just don't want to lose somebody.
Yeah, you kind of feel accountable for them, right?
Right.
And it's funny because even out there, in Costa I got to bankfish, and it's funny because during the tournament, there's people screaming at each other from, not like yelling at each other, but they're like talking to each other. There's people on the bank and people on vessels, hey, how's the fishing? Hey, have you caught anything? Hey, how deep are they? How, in what level are they, And you're like, it's a competition, but these guys are passing information. Yeah. And I told Kirk, and I was like, you know what? That's the type of vibe that I like, man. Yeah. I think that's what brings everyone else back again.
True.
Because
they, in other tournaments, they wouldn't even.
I think Ruben nailed it. One of the best compliments that we've been getting lately, and it's just time and time again. And these are from guys that fished other events. Some of these guys fish professional kayak events, and they still come out to our event. And they tell us the reason why is because the vibe is so nice.
That's cool.
That's good.
So I think that's the best compliment we could probably receive.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the reason why so many guys keep coming back. They just have fun. We have he won one of our events that we had at Puddingstone earlier in the year. His name is Anthony Garcia, and his family's known as the G Team. Everybody in his family fishes. And he comes out to our events. He brings the whole family out. Some of them fish in the tournaments. Man. Some of them don't. Squad. But the mom's there, the dads.
They're just barbecuing, waiting around.
Fiance's there. It's squad, just awesome to see that. Yeah. And
we got to see the majority of them on Castaic get on the vessel and go out there and and fish, man. Yeah. And get on the boat and go fish. And we were just like, wow.
And that's what we want. Man. That's what we want to see.
That's the whole crew.
So, and when guys, come up to me and Alex Cox is one of the guys that fishes a lot of the larger kayak events. He drives all over California to fish these, down in San Diego.
Last time he was in San Diego on a Saturday, and then from San Diego drove back home, and then on the Sunday drove to Castaic.
Damn.
On the same weekend.
So that's a lot.
It's a lot of driving.
He doesn't come he's not coming out to our events for the prize money, because he just left an event that had thousands of dollars on the line. You know? But he comes out because the vibe is so nice there.
Yeah.
And he mentioned it to us on that day, and we were just like, wow, what do you want me? What do you want us to say? We didn't have no words to that, and everyone was like, well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to keep going.
A brotherhood. I think the main word would be a brotherhood.
Yeah. We don't want to get so big so that we lose that vibe. We want more people to come out. We want it to grow, but we want to keep that vibe going.
Like Fiddy said, it's that tight knit community.
Right.
Yeah. Close. Yeah.
And as it grows, we'll be able to provide more prizes, be able to do more for our community. So that's what we're looking at. But at the same time, we want to keep that vibe, that down to earth vibe, where it's a competition, but we're all helping each other out. Like, how do you catch the fish?
That's good.
I'm going to teach you. It's not like some of the tournaments I've done in the past, some of the larger bass tournaments, where you ask somebody where you caught the fish out, and they say, "Oh, out in the water." We're trying to stay away from that and kind of teach each other how we did it or what worked. We
want to do it in a positive way, in an open-minded way. It's friendship before competition. Obviously, at some point, it's gonna get to a competition getting overwhelming. And that's understandable. It is. If you're out there and you prep, 2 weeks before for that tournament. And by whatever reason it didn't go your way, you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna get discouraged and whatnot, and that's understandable. But we want people to understand that it's we're trying to create a brotherhood. It's a club. That means a club of brothers, a brotherhood, and that's not. We're not neglecting the kids and wife and grandpa and all them people. No, those are people we're gonna be waiting for them open with our arms open. They're included. When we have our events, does not mean that you're just fishing yourself. You could bring your kids and your wife. That's to us. that looks even better. That makes our group even bigger.
Yeah, I had a gentleman approach me after one of our tournaments. He said, I asked him, well, how you like it? You have fun? Well, I didn't really catch anything. I feel really frustrated. I don't know if I like these things because I'll fish before and not caught anything, but I never felt like this frustrated. So sometimes maybe the competition may not be for everybody. And for those people, I tell them, well, just come out and fish with us. You don't have to be in the competition.
Right.
But you could come out and fish with us and still share what worked for you, still learn from the other guys that are out there. So that's kind of like where we would like to go with this.
It's funny because we tell that to guys, and then by the time the tournament's about to start a week before or during that week, they end up signing up.
Yeah.
They get the courage because we open the doors to them. We're like, nah, man, come. Just have a good time. Come, and you'll get to know people. You get to network with people. You'll get to learn who does what, who does who, and then you start growing your network, and you'll see who's the guys out there that are constantly on the tournament.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be that they eventually sign up by themselves.
Yeah.
We
I think
just
it's that camaraderie that comes along with it,
Yeah.
Right.
That bonding. So off air, and the way Fiddy said it, we didn't want to blow our load, but you talked about was it an event coming up? I don't think we mentioned it yet, right? The May 19th or.
Yeah,
May
the
19th,
we
Lake
did
Paris.
talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
So
that's the
is-
Lake Paris event.
That's the most
Is
recent event.
that a certain event, or is that part of the tournament?
That's the tournament, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's actually part of the tournament.
That's
That's
their
the
fourth
fourth
one,
event in
yeah.
the
Okay.
7 tournament series.
That's
And
our
it's the-
middle of
Yeah.
the season.
Okay.
It's
Of our tournament season.
It's the only one not in LA County.
Yeah.
So that's going to be in Riverside County, and it's the only tournament it's the only lake we're going to visit to once in this tournament series. All the other lakes we visit twice.
We visit them, yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of like our break in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Out of our
decide-
comfort zone,
Yeah.
you're getting away from your ponds and lakes here. You're going to
Yeah.
a nice big reservoir. It is the biggest lake that we're fishing, right?
Yes, because I think so. The Castaic Lagoon was pretty big, but I think Lake Paris is bigger.
I think it's way bigger.
It's not as big as Castaic Lake, but we fished the lagoon for the tournament.
Yeah.
And Lake Paris is bigger than that, and it's certainly bigger than Pudding Stone. So it
Yeah.
will probably be the biggest lake we'll fished.
On here, we're going to be extra vigilant. We're going to be extra safe. Obviously, there's going to be points where you're not going to be able to have an eye on every single angler, but we're still going to be in that same page where we're going to be taking care of everyone,
Right.
making sure everyone goes out, making sure everyone comes back in.
Well, it sounds like you guys have that, like you said, the brotherhood. So everybody's going to be watching
Yeah.
out for each
Yeah.
other.
For sure.
Right.
But then going back to that, when you say brotherhood is not so much, I mean, I'm sure the majority is all men, but do you guys have women anglers?
Yes, Anthony's
Fiance.
fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My
we-
daughter
So
has
one-
has
Oh.
participated as well.
So we get a couple of females
Yeah.
that participate, and we do have a few more that have been contacting me. We're hoping they kind of join the tournament.
That's
And-
good. Yeah, just to kind of expand it all out.
Right,
into
and they're
whomever.
a cross between kayakers and float tubers.
We don't discriminate because we even have some of our own sponsors participating in our events, but they participate as a participant, not as a sponsor. So
Okay,
they're
yeah.
there. They pay their fee. They pay
That's
everything,
cool.
and they go in there and fish.
Yeah.
So that being said, we don't discriminate on whoever wants to come out and fish with us. This is an open event. There is an age problem, but just because the liability, But if a child that's under 18 wants to come out and fish, parent has to be a part of the.
If they fish with a parent or guardian, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Did I hear this wrong? Is there a Father's Day event?
Yes.
Or there is?
For Father's Day, June 16. Lucky when we were in Pudding Stone, State event came up to us after our Pudding Stone event, and gave us their idea that they wanted to sponsor a child, but then we kind of told them, well, what a child by himself or a child with a parent or a parent figure.
Right.
And at first he wanted just a child, but then we told him, well, that's a problem. The liability is too high. If a child falls off from one of the rocks, hits his head, and he's in the water, you know.
Yeah.
So we need he will have to have a parent figure and a child participate. So you will have to sponsor both of them.
Yeah.
So their idea was to sponsor a parent-child team, not so much of a team because they will be competing against each other, which is the cool part.
Yeah.
But you get them out there.
Yeah.
And they're providing gear, so a hat, shirt for the child, and Urban Angling Club is providing a rod and reel to start off. And Kirk will be providing the tournament tackle and the starting up kit for plastics.
Under Bass in the Hood.
Under Bass in the Hood. So everyone gets a share of putting something on the table. Them themselves are already promoting it. We're starting to promote it because we just got the okay from them. So it's starting to get out there. But then themselves are already getting called up by other people that instead of calling in to see if they could get the sponsor for themselves, are actually wanting to provide more sponsorship.
Oh, wow.
So it went from just one father, one parent figure and a child to maybe even another parent and another child. So it might turn into a Father's Day camp, fishing.
Yeah,
camp,
and somebody just contacted us today. They want to provide a very nice rod and reel from a Mike Iaconelli rod and reel. So if those that don't know who Mike Iaconelli is, he's a professional bass fisherman. It's one of the guys you can see on TV all the time if you're willing to watch one of those fishing shows. So
that's cool, man.
So it's something that surprisingly came from an idea at a park after an event to becoming reality.
Yeah.
And we talked about this so many times, and we mentioned it, and we brainstorm and bounce ideas off of each other and checked ideas and specifications and requirements and stuff like that. There's no age limit, so 18 and under, but following the regulations of California license fishing and stuff like that. So the parent as well, they could go Big Five, Sporting Goods, they could go to Turner's or Walmart, stuff like that. They could get a license to fish for the day, but we would like them to get it for the whole year.
The whole year.
So that if they ever decide to come back again, they're already prepped. This is not for them to just, put their toe in the water and walk off. This is for them to actually enjoy it a continuous time. Does not mean that they have to participate on each other events, but they could find the dates that we're going to be at the lake, and they could join us. Like Kirk said, join us. Just come out here and join us. Maybe one of the guys might not be fully fishing. They could go out there and teach you guys a new technique.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. We want to make it more than just a one-day outing.
Or maybe you just inspire them to go fishing on their own, on their own time whenever they get a chance,
Yeah,
But now that they have the license, it's easy to do it. They don't have to go rush and get it.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to show them that, hey, this is fun.
Yeah.
Come out and do it. It's better than sitting at home playing video
And some
games.
of the, like we mentioned, some of the derbies, the father, if they don't have a license, they cannot help their child in the derby. So that also helps. So if you come out and participate with us, not saying that they have to participate with us only, but if they have a license, when they hit up a derby or any type of tournament outside of our event, they're fully prepped already. They're ready to go, pretty much because the father could help the child set up their rig and so forth and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's a full turn loop. When it comes around that.
This is a crazy question now. Those parks that you guys to go fish at sometimes with the tournaments, is there any way that someone could just walk in and get a license, or is there someone that's licensed to issue out like a day pass?
Yeah, not at the parks themselves. You'll have to get that license at usually a retail store, like a Big Five, like a Bass Pro Shop. But there is an option now. You can actually purchase your license online now.
Now they opened it, yeah.
Yeah, from the Department of Fish and Wildlife. So it's the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. They're also the ones that have, I guess the right word to say is provided us a permit so that we can run these tournaments. So you have to have a permit for each event.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, you have to get the permission from each park too. So each park can be a little different on how they handle that. But right now we're a really small organization, and it hasn't been any issues yet. So we'll have to see how that changes when we start to grow.
Yeah, it's a small group, but it's a consistent small group.
Yeah.
So we started off with what we thought should have been the right numbers. We started off with 15. on our first event. There was more signed up. Eventually, some of them fall off. It's understandable. That happens on everything.
Yeah.
Then we went big to Pudding Stone. We were almost at 30 people. And then from there, we continuously just kept that same amount of numbers going forward. So we're not expecting greatness, but we're expecting, how would you say, continuation. So we want that
growth.
that same amount of people, because those people will grab 2 or 3 friends of theirs, and then maybe those 2 friends might not stay, but one of them might stay out of those 2 people. That's what we want. I mean, we want friends of our friends to come out and fish, but we're not saying no to anyone that wants to just randomly come out.
Though we ran a few practice events last year, this is our first year doing it.
Right,
so we didn't
it's
know
our official year as Urban Angler
We didn't
Club.
know exactly what to expect when these people, when the anglers started showing up. So, we just were kind of playing it by ear. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we were going to be received well, or if people were going to just say, well, those guys, they don't know what they're doing. But fortunately, it worked out really well for us.
We're still improving
in the right direction.
No, it sounds from what you guys are saying, all the sponsors that you guys are getting, there's a growth there, right?
Yeah.
You guys, you have eyeballs on you.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, you guys have the Progress Brewing. Over in South Monte.
Yeah.
That they helped you guys out.
Yeah.
Son of a Bun, the food truck, they helped you guys out.
They're the ones that pay for our trophies, all of our trophies for this.
Yeah, they provide the trophies actually for all 7 events.
Yeah.
So that was really nice of them. So we go out, get the trophies. We put their names on the trophy as a sponsor.
Yeah.
And we're moving forward like that. Who's one of our Gorilla Gloves. That's another one of our big sponsors. They provide me several pairs of gloves that we have in the raffles. We give them out with the trophies for the winners at the events.
Funny thing, Alex Cox, he won first place in Castag, right? So we had decided that we're gonna start giving the gloves to the trophies, right? So I turn around and I give it to him, and he's like, "No, it's fine, man. I have some at home."
Yeah.
And I'm not like, "From what?" And he's like, "From the other raffles." He's like, "It's cool. You guys can keep them." Not being stingy.
Yeah.
This is the guy that we're talking to you, that he does professional big tournaments, you know. And he turns around and he's like, "No, it's fine. I've got plenty of them. I'm not gonna be taking your stuff just because."
Yeah.
That attitude, to me, I was the one that was handing them up the gloves. To me, I was blown away.
Yeah.
I was just like, that actually happens a lot. A lot of the guys win stuff, and they say, "Well, we really like what you're doing. We want to keep you doing this and keep you going."
That's cool.
So we know all this stuff costs money. So you can have this stuff back because either I'm not going to use this or I don't need this right now, but. The bottom line is that they're giving the stuff back to us because they want to see us do it again next time.
That's cool.
So and that's awesome, man.
That's really nice when they do that. So
some of the guys give out some nice stuff, man.
Well, how about this? Before we wrap this, why don't you give a few shout outs to the sponsors or people that donate and stuff like that? That'd be cool. And then we'll.
And then while you do that, I also wanted to mention that I keep hearing the word like teach and learn. It sounds more like it's not so much the teaching and learning; it's more of a sharing experience.
Yeah.
When you go out there, everybody's just sharing it. There's not just one person or one group teaching. It's just a group of people sharing.
Because everyone fishes different, so everyone has their own techniques,
Right.
their own ways of fishing, one style of fishing. So one rig, they fish it differently.
Yeah.
There's some guys that are like, ultra finesse, and there's some guys that are like, no, I gotta go heavier, equipment, and you're thinking why? But then they'll explain to you why.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're hitting, some rocks or some tree trunks or whatnot. Right. So that gives you an idea of, okay, now I understand why.
Yeah, there's no wrong way. So you can learn from everybody out there.
There's one thing that Kirk always tells me. There's not a written book of how to fish. There isn't a written book that says how to fish.
Yeah.
Because everything every day could be completely different.
For every rule in fishing, there's 100 exceptions.
Yeah.
So you could tell somebody generally this works in this condition, but there's just so many exceptions.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. You teach somebody the basics, and then they have to find their own style. What works for them. You know, like. I make a lot of worms and stuff like that for fishing, so I like to fish those. But also, if I can get the bite going on top water, I don't make any of those baits. And that's one of my favorite ways to fish, as we discussed before. If I can find something that works as I'm walking the bank or fishing my kayak, where I can cast and move and fish, cast and move and fish. I seldom stay in one spot, even if I'm on the bank fishing. I'm walking the whole shoreline, getting some exercise in, and I like to move and fish.
Yeah.
But with a lot of the plastics, like especially like the plastic worms and stuff, you really got to slow down to be effective with them.
Yeah.
So if I can get a bite going on a faster moving bait where I can cover more water, I'll do that. But day in and day out, the plastic worm will catch you more fish than probably most other techniques.
Yeah.
You know, so when those other techniques fail, I'll just have to slow down, throw a worm out there, and hope for the best on that. So.
It's funny because the stuff that you think it's the most boring will actually catch you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole drop shot, just dead sticking it. It's the stuff that, you know, you're like, man, just...
It can get a little tedious at times,
Sure.
but you know, sometimes you have to really slow down, go with a smaller bait, take your time, you know, and
See what sticks.
Yeah,
Or bites.
and catch something.
Yeah.
So.
So, shout outs?
Yeah, let's
for
do
sure.
your shout outs. We're gonna
All
do it
right.
like the Academy Awards though, so I'm gonna yank you.
Well-
Start playing the music in the background. You know?
Well, first of all, I mean, shout outs to all the guys that participate, first of all. I mean, if it wasn't for them actually
the
showing
anglers.
up, you know, the participants, if
Yeah.
it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have this. Second of all, shout out obviously to Kirk right here. If it wasn't for his idea and his plan and his project, we wouldn't be even having this conversation here, first of all, you know. After that, I mean, a lot of people come in mind, but I'm just going to read off the list, you know. So, your Urban Angler Club, sponsored by Bass in the Hood, Kirk right here. E10 of a Bun was our trophies. Richard Tackle right here off of Rosemead.
Local tackle shop.
It's a nice tackle shop. You know, he hooked us up with a lot of stuff. Progress Brewing, they hooked us up with a couple of things, you know. And then we go down the list with Juggernauts Custom Jig Heads. They do jig heads, weighted hooks, you know, so different types of weighted hooks. Obviously, Trout Candy, he's been there with Kirk since the get-go. I mean, they're how would you say this? Juan calls him Yoda, so he, you know, Juan
That's
learned
his
from
Yoda.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he calls him like Yoda.
the master.
Yeah, you know.
Trout Candy Baits was there from the very beginning when we were actually just doing the test events to see if this would even, you know, work. We weren't even for sure we were going to do it, but we had to run some test events to see exactly how we were going to do it.
And he brings out his crew, you know, to some of our events, you know, his own personal pro staff crew, you know, to some of our events. So that's even, you know, that's amazing on his part and on their part too. Gorilla Grip Gloves, they've been there since we started, you know, say officially 2019. They were one of the main sponsors that actually popped up first, you know, after we started, you know, communicating with people. Stay Bent Anglers, I mean, you guys, you know, good gear, cool, you know.
Gear, yeah.
They have some nice stuff, you know, just, you know, they always been there, you know, always supportive, good ideas as well. War Paints Customs, custom lures, that's what he does. He does his
Custom
magic, that's all he does, man. Ben Rod Brigade, like I said, I was buying stuff off of him, and he, you know, he kind of just jumped on the wagon, and he's been there ever since then. Not in the bad way, not in the bandwagon, not like that, but he jumped on, you know, and then and he's been there with us. Let's see, Bone Dog Baits, Aldo, man, cool dude, man.
Yeah.
He does art, you know, and he's skillful, and his stuff, he's growing. You know, he's only getting better, but he's still humble.
Yeah.
You know, especially to our friendship, he's one guy. You know, he's one cool guy. Pier 76 Fish Girls, they've been there since last year with our test tournaments. Good restaurant.
This is a nice fish grill restaurant in the Riverside area.
Okay.
Nice.
Hook and Lead, they jumped on about a month ago, and they gave us a couple things, you know, and he's still active, and he's still, you know, communicating with
fishing swags,
another fishing
shirts and hats and stuff like that.
He does a lot of hunting, so his logo is a buck and a marlin.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
it's both, you know. So hooked. That's why it's called hooked and lead.
Yeah.
You know. So it you know, it flows. Julian Light Cutters. That's one of Kirk's friends. You know. So he does a good couple custom stuff. Flow Tube Fishing Forum. That's for Kirk started flow tubing. You know. So he has links in flow tubing. So that's the U boat. You know, kind of like flow tube.
It's a great club for those of you who want to learn how to float tube. They can teach you. If you're looking at buying float tube gear, they can help you find the right gear for you to get started. They're just a great organization. They have their own forum called the Free Float Tube Forum. Mm-hmm. You can get on that, and then those guys there will help you out if you're just starting out, or if you're a veteran or experienced guy. It's a nice club to join if you're not part of it already. So.
Right on.
Cool. And the next one is Fishing in My Bones. That's Rattlejack, I believe. That's the guys that made these shirts.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Rattling Jack.
Rattling Jack. They make the UV shirts so that you can stay out in the sun all day. Yeah. They're UV 50, so you will not get burnt in these shirts.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a blind, and it's not a print over. It's actually in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what they call that.
Sublimation or something. Sublimation.
Yeah,
okay, and then our news. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
And our newest one that just dropped today. He was the one that was calling me right now, telling me that the first shipment of his.
Make sure you get my shout out in.
Yeah. No. He was telling me that the bag is actually on his way. So the one that he sponsored the urban
the backpack.
For the Angler of the Year.
Yeah.
So he was just texting me like, "Hey, sorry, man, I'm calling you because I'm letting you know that the shipment's out." Yeah. His Bowhound Sporting's good. He's he's starting off good. He has a couple of things coming out in the summer. So if you guys have him on Instagram, follow up because he's gonna start bringing out some good stuff. Yeah. All these guys, I tell the guys,
play the music. Play the music.
I'm playing the music now.
No.
The guys who started a couple of hours ago.
Who?
They contacted us. With the guppies.
Oh, and
I'm thinking, Israel and I are gonna, or How We Talk Podcast is gonna put together something for you guys too, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
We have another sponsor.
The
Give
last ones will be Guppies Fishing Adventures. So it's a fishing guide service for kids and adults.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's
and he's in the Los Angeles area too.
So he's local. So like I always tell the guys at the tournaments and our events, these guys don't necessarily have to give us anything. Yeah. They all do it because they're in the same page as we do for the same reason that we do it.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for these guys and obviously all the effort that Kirk puts in there, as not only as a founder but as pretty much the director of every single event, I just come in here and kind of pick up on some of the slack, but I also come in here and provide this energy. Yeah. I go out there and start communicating with people and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for these guys that will sponsor our events, and like I said, our participants that donate some of their stuff as well, and just by them showing up, none of this will be possible. Mm-hmm. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank all of them, and every single one, and I thank you guys. Also, How We Talk is in this list.
Yeah,
I did not forget. I did not forget. And I really thank you guys for opening your doors again for us.
Definitely, sure, man.
Definitely.
Anytime.
Thanks for definitely coming on again. You know, and we'll help out any way we can by putting all that stuff out there too.
Yeah.
But definitely, it sounds like even from the few months back that you guys were on to now that it's growing. And that's the objective. So big shout out to you from starting from a blog to where you're at now.
Oh yeah, for sure. You guys came in the last time you guys came in here. You had 2 sponsors, and now it's 28. I mean, beat that. There's no one that's gonna beat that amount of plugs in one show. So
it grew up in.
And with How We Talk as our largest sponsor, that's really
and that's the end of the show, guys. Make sure to tune in.
Just write the check.
Yeah,
just write the check.
But thanks again, guys, for coming on.
No, thank you guys
for the line, man. Really appreciate
thanks, man.
Sure. Yeah.
It's badass, man.
All right, guys.
We really enjoy it. It's always nice to have a nice talk about what we do, and not only about what we do, but what you guys do as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're always, grateful that everyone that has put a little bit of grain in this, has built more than what we expected, We last year was only tests. Now to actually commit to a full series tournament.
Step in.
And like I said, the last time I was here, I got lucky enough to kind of get handed this position, but to me, it's an honor. I mean, to me, it's an honor that he actually considered me to even just be part of this, you know. I could have been a participant day in, day out, no problem. I would have been happy, you know.
Actually, he was kind of tricked into joining in. I might have had some ideas to start out with, but without the youthful energy of guys like Ruben and Anthony and some of our club members, that, you know, I wouldn't be able to do it. So.
Well, cool.
There you have it, man.
That's it, man.
That's it for the show today. I'm Fiddy.
This is How We Talk
Podcast.
Later, guys.
Urban Angler Club Part 2.